Yeah, I got to go up at 7:45. All right.
Good day, good day, good day, everybody. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I truly appreciate it. Here it is once again. I got the opportunity to bring the lovely Shateka Husser on, and different. What we're going to what we tell them what we have in store for us today, young lady.
We're going to talk a little bit about net worth and the gap, but we want to talk about, how to strengthen your finances. And that's really the brief conversation we're going to have today. Just another challenge to get people thinking in the right direction and looking at some different tips and ways that they could really deep dive and move the needle on their finances.
Okay, because once again, a lot of times people do not understand, and like I always try to tell people, you know what, it's not how much money you make, is what you do with it. And a lot of times when you don't know what to do with it, then you lost. And once again, what we talk about, it's no excuse no more. I didn't know. With everything that's out there, like what I do is when I be doing certain spills, I be trying to tell people, I say one thing, when I got a young lady that's very knowledgeable and that coming on my platform giving free advice, free education, whereas you don't even have to study. Somebody had already did that for you. So you laying down the foundation. So it's not what we do, is how we do it. So if they don't want to take advantage of it, then you know what? Only thing I can say about that, shame on you. Shame
Right.
on you.
Yeah, so jumping right on in. If you don't know who I am, Shateka Husser, CEO of Husser Financial Solutions, where we help you retire before you expire. Our goal is to help you get your bank account on fire with a whole lot of lifetime tax-free retirement income that you will not outlive. Passive income is the name of the game. If you work on, in trading time for money, you behind already, right? Especially with inflation being at 7.5% and moving to about 10% by the end of the year. If your bank account is not making that, or wherever you have your investments or your retirement or whatever is not making at least that, you are already behind. And why am I so passionate about this? Because there is a huge wealth gap. We have to talk about it. It's continuing to be a problem. So back in 2019, it did this major study, and it's still being reported, and it hasn't been updated yet. So that's the latest information out that I've seen. But the average African American median household net worth is at 24,000, and that's compared to our Caucasian sisters and brothers, families, right? They are at 189. It's a huge gap. So you think about 108, a little over 188,000, 24, that's $164,000 gap. What are they doing different that the African Americans are not doing? I'll tell you, one of them is, of course, financial literacy. It is that, but it's also, of course, educating the children, educating the next generation. So I don't know about you, but I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I had to go out and figure it out. And so many African Americans have done the same thing. So many African Americans have moved the needle. They might have been born in poverty, but they said they're not going to die there. How about that? And so at the end of the day, when we look at, how many multimillionaires or millionaires are out there, only 2% of African Americans have that type of net worth. So today we're going to talk about net worth real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit about some different tips that you can do to move your net worth right to the right number, because a lot of people don't know what their net worth is. I talk to clients all the time, and I say, what is your net worth? They have no clue. So I'm just going to give you the quick equation, right? Everything that you own, all of your assets minus all of your liabilities. All right. So if you own a boat, a house, a car, whatever you own, retirement account, insurance policy that has cash value in it, anything that you own, just think about it, right? Do you have gold? Do you have stocks? Do you have, NFTs? What do you have? Everything that you own. Think about it. List it on a piece of paper if you don't already know this. I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence. I know this is really basic, but I want to make sure that I start with the lowest person, because again, 24,000 is the number for the African American median household, okay, in terms of what they have, right? So assets, what do you own minus liabilities? We do liabilities very well. Because I'm African American, okay? And then where I grew up at, we knew how to do liabilities really great, right? Like we know how to go to the name brand stores and buy it and make them richer. We knew how to do that very well. Didn't own a stock in the company, but we own the shoes. So what we want to do is see how we could do some things differently, or at least make sure the next generation is doing something differently, so that we can win. We can win in wealth, just like our Caucasian sisters and brothers. All right. So what is your number? Do you know what that number is? If you don't know what that number is, that's your homework. Definitely need to figure that out, right? Are you what are you closer to 188 in net worth or closer to 24? Are you above or below? Where are you in that number? Go figure that out ASAP. Because what you don't want to do is have generational what?
Debt.
Consistency. Okay, so that is a good word too. So generational blessings or generational curses. Are you a part of the solution or a part of the problem? And that's where we're at today. And I'm a straight shooter. I'm very direct. Guys know me. I don't sugarcoat too much because I don't know how to do that too well, right? I'm very tactful and very pleasant and very professional. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I only want to give you facts. I don't like to give opinions. I want to talk about what's the fact. The fact is that there's a gap. That's $164,000 difference, right? Between, and so how are we going to bridge that gap? How are we going to close that gap? We're going to educate ourselves, right? Like I went and did. All right. I'm not bragging about what I did and made and all this kind of stuff. But what I am saying is that I took my future and my next generation's future into my own hand. Okay. And I want you to do the same thing if you haven't already done that, right? So it's not enough to just, watch YouTube videos. It's not enough. Right? Like you should be somewhere in somebody's class learning this stuff or signing up for something, right? At the end of the day, if you want information, I give free information all day long. I got a blog. I got, free community conversations that I'm having. I mean, there's a lot of ways. If you just want to reach out to me, I can give you a slew of resources to help you get the information that you need. The email list that I have, I send out I have a financial literacy email list. I can send you a lot of this information because it's not enough time to do 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour drive-bys and, casually date you on YouTube. We can have
that's what they call it now.
Yeah. We can have a relationship in terms of me dating you every week or every month with my information I'm going to send right to your inbox in your email to make sure that you get this information about how you can. Today, we're going to talk about 15 ways to strengthen your finances. I'm just going to talk about real quick, high level stuff, right? So number one, because we're jumping right into it. And I can't see the comments, Ryan. So if you have something, you can start me because we got to keep moving because I do have another appointment. I'm sorry, in 15 minutes. But number one, you want to compare insurance rates, right? Like if you have insurance, if you have poor credit, you're paying too much in insurance. I'm gonna tell you that already because they check your credit. Be clear about it. I don't care what type of insurance it is. It's just like a credit card. They're gonna check what your credit score is, and if it's bad, you are paying higher than you need to be paying. So everything really starts with credit, right? I hope you know that. So everything starts with credit. So strengthening your credit score is going to certainly be something that you need to do, right? There's all type of credit schools, information, free resources out there that can help you to move the needle on your credit. So if you're looking at comparing insurance rates, the first thing you need to do is look at your credit, move that before you begin to start changing up and going after some different insurance rates, because you'll find you have more competitive rates once your credit is actually in a better position. Okay. And we know that this year, the Feds just actually raised, the interest rates. So that's going to be a problem for a lot of people because they didn't jump into it, jump into different mortgages or different types of loans while it was super low because they were trying to work on their credit. So it's not about getting your credit in order when you need something. It's about keeping it in order all year long so that you can always win in wealth. You can always buy things at a cheaper rate. So stay on top of it. So when we educate ourselves, because they didn't teach us this in high school, they didn't teach me this in college, okay? And I'm very well versed in college. They didn't teach us this. They didn't teach us anything about money. So I had to go out here after making the money that I made and go figure out how do you do this? How do you do that, right? So I want you to go figure out credit, right? Figure that out. Like I said, there's a lot of courses out there, and there's some free ones. If you need to know more information about that, send me. You see that it says Shateka text, that at the bottom. Simply send me a text and say I need to know more about credit or whatever, and I will send you all the resources that I have around credit. All right. Review your cable and internet service. Real simple stuff, right? This is just bills. Because I know Brian always asks, well, what if they don't have enough money? Well, look at everything you have. Most people don't know how to budget because they don't even know how much money they have coming in. They don't know how much money they have going out. They don't even know how to balance a checkbook. Unfortunately, not mean degrading, but there's courses out there for that, right? So your library, your local library can help you with some of that stuff as well, right? There's a lot of courses for financial literacy. We just talk about basic stuff on today. We're not going high level today. So reviewing your credit and cable and all that good stuff, making sure that you have the lowest level package so you can squeeze some of that money out. Here's the deal, what I'm trying to do. We're going to look at everything line by line, because what we're going to do is find you some money so that you can now take the money that you found that you spending too much money in, and now reposition that money into accounts that's going to make you money. If I can get you to decrease your bills by 50% and take that 50% and now go reinvest that money, or I should say invest that money or contribute that money to something that's going to get you at least inflation, that's going to get you to at least stay in competition with inflation, which is 7.5%. So again, your return has to be at least that right now, and you are becoming poorer and poorer, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is review your credit report, like we already talked about. Number 4 is review your cell phone usage and bill. Is that a need? Back in the day, we didn't need a phone, but everybody have to have one now. Yeah. Everybody have to have one now, okay? And some of y'all got to have 2, okay? Because you got to have one for, you know what? Well, we're not going to talk about that. Okay, so number 5 is build an emergency account. How are you going to build an emergency account? So if I was asking you right now, because the average person don't have $1,000 for an emergency, and this is why those individuals are getting poorer and poorer, because what they're doing is they're going to get a payday loan, or they're going to get some type of loan, or use a credit card, and double-digit compounding interest in the wrong direction. They'll never pay off because they'll only be paying the minimum. So they're in debt for the rest of their life. Mortgage, ladies and gentlemen, stands for, like the mortgage, like the root word mortgage, is like, it means till death. It means like you're going to pay on that till you die. You don't have to, just because it's 30 years, doesn't mean you have to take 30 years to pay it off. You can free yourself, become debt free, no longer in a modern day slavery, working for interest, and get out of interest debt and free yourself, because we want to get you off the plantation as soon as possible so you can make an impact and move from career to calling, and your life can look. We talked about this the other morning in our prayer session, and I don't mean to be like spiritual, but we talked about how we live our dash, and you see it all the time on obituaries. The dash is how we lived our life and what impact we made, what influence we had, what income that we have, what did we do, what are people going to say about us, right? A lot of times they can't say nothing but that child worked herself to death. And we don't have to do that. We have got to stop and get out of that. Like, I'm talking about my community, the community that I came from. Everybody work. Listen, didn't even see the children. Children don't know the parents doing what they want to do out in the streets because they work so much. And they're working for their children to have something because they're looking for the end. They're trying to make a means to an end, right? But that's not the way to raise children. If you can do something different, if you could move, like Robert Kiyosaki say, from the left side of the quadrant to the right side of the quadrant, meaning that if you can go from trading time for money to becoming a business owner or a investor, the only 5% of people are doing, and letting your money work harder than you work for it, right? Then you are winning enough, right? It's not until your money's making money for you or making the amount of money for you that you've been working for that you're winning, so that you don't have to work for it, or else you'll be working for it until the day that you die. Unfortunately, I know this is hard truth. I know there's a hard pill to swallow. I know that it's rough around the edges. I know, Shateka, but can you just package it a little different? I just want to give it straight real quick. Listen, when you eat the vegetables and things, it don't taste good all the time, but it's good for you. Your children, you want them to have the best. Sometimes you have to discipline them, but you got to do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, you got to make better decisions. Because if you making decisions the way you're making it, your children are going to make the same decision that you're making, and it's going to be generation to generation to generation. If you're not teaching your children because your mother didn't teach you, your father didn't teach you, you're wrong, right? Look. Becoming a parent, you don't get a manual with it, but you can go figure it out, right? Like, as parents, we can go figure it out. I mean, I have 6 guard children. I have to go figure stuff out, right? Like, I don't know all this stuff. But at the end of the day, 6, spend less on food. How can you cut your food bill, right? Shopping with costs in mind. Listen, people are doing this thing called Instacart and all this. It's cheaper to just go, there, I guess. I don't know. Gas is higher now. People looking at that. Maybe it's a good exercise to walk to the store. I don't know. But at the end of the day, how can you cut costs? Now you got to figure out, listen, when you get in your car, you got to know, you got to plan your route, because you can't be backtracking with the gas prices at $7 a gallon. You got to know, have a plan at the beginning of you leaving your house so you get back now, because that's how expensive gas is. So how are you going to lessen your routes, right? And save more money in gas, because it's more expensive, because it's inflation. And if you don't have your money making 7.5%, that's the reason why you have got to do things different, because your money is not outpacing the inflation. Your money is not making 7.5% if it's sitting in the bank, if it's not making money for you while you sleep. You have to make your money work for you. All right, we talk about this every week, right? I get it. Number seven, use a cashback credit card. Now, if you're going to use a credit card, it should be giving you some kind of reward. You should be getting some cash, some bonus points, and something, right? And there's some great ones out there. Really good cards. I mean, American Express, you guys, I don't want to talk about different cards, because I don't want you to say, oh, Shateka told me this, and that. I'm not giving any financial advice. Let me say that right now. I am not giving you any financial consultations or financial advice over here, but I am giving you some facts. And the fact is that there are some great cards out here that you can make money off of just by using them up. Like you like to, if you like to shop, get the one with the rewards points and stuff so you can get money back. Always trying to get cash back on my cards. You hear me? I want the money back. Listen, I'm just going to use it because I want the points, get the cash off of it, and pay the thing back off, right? Don't let it build up. All right, so use cash back, credit cards, things of that nature. That can add up to a considerable amount of money, especially if you like to spend money. If you like to spend money, get you a credit card that can give you the money back. All right, number 8, create your financial goals. So if you're trying to make $50,000 a year, or $100,000 a year, or $150,000 a year, or $200,000, how are you going to do that each quarter, right? So break it down by quarter, and then break the quarter down by month, and then break the month down by week, and you will know if you're on track or not. I was literally just talking to somebody about how much more I need to make a certain goal for my quarter, because the quarter is ending next week, right? It's about to end. So what did you do for the first quarter of Q1 of 2022? Because everybody say 2022 is going to be the year. So the first quarter has already passed by. How are you in terms of your financial goals? How are you benchmarking? What does that look like? All right. I'm going to pause really quickly, Brian, and see if you have anything, because I'm going to make all of this happen in like 5 more minutes. So what questions out there?
You know what? Basically right now, everybody's saying right now what you're doing and the information that you're sharing are very powerful. We need a we need a raw truth. If the food is good, it's really bad. Saying great point. So the difference is like what you're doing is, and like I love it. Like my man Jimmy right now, and I'm trying to get you on his platform. Glaze, what's up, my brother? Looking good with this beautiful looking woman you chat with. It's all about the kids. Because once again, like I say, when you come on, what I love it, your energy and your dedication, as far as right now, and the passion that you're able to take the time to share with us the knowledge that you know. Because once again, it's a lot of stuff that we don't know. And even when you talk about right now, we got money everywhere that we wasting. For example, every time I look around, I'm getting charged. I'm like, what the heck? I'm getting charged. Apple's robbing me blind.
Yes.
And I'm tired of it. But I'm not, see, and that's what I got to do is get to the bottom of it. So we do have money, but we got wasted money being wasted for stuff that we don't even utilize.
Come on here. We have a lot of money in our community, trillions of dollars that goes out of our community. It don't even last a week. Most of us, listen, paid by Friday, gone by Monday. What's her name? She always talk about check the Monday. Okay, literally, and it shouldn't be that way, right? So it's called a relationship with money. If you have a bad relationship with money, the money's not going to stay with you. Just like a relationship, how we do one thing is how we do everything. How's your regular relationships, and then how's your relationship with money? There's some direct correlations there. It's called retail therapy. And so you can get therapy in other ways besides spending your money. All right. So let's go right into number 8. So we talked about financial plans, looking at your net worth. How are you? So if your net worth right now, let's just say is $100,000, and you want to move the needle, how are you going to move the needle of your net worth from 100,000 to 200,000 by next year? You might have to do a second job, and your second job might be your business that you're going to start that you don't know how to do, but you need to go figure out. Because we know that the tax code is written for the business owner, and that's why there's a huge gap, because they understand how to do business and they do it well, right? They being the people that are high net worth, right? They know business. And so when you can understand how to do business, which is some of the highest paid, listen, your income is unlimited when you know how to do business, because you can work a little harder on your business and make more money for you. If you're going to work hard, work on your goals, your dreams, get your business to a business status. In other words, not a self-employed status where you have to work, where you can hire people in your business. Why is it that we have so many millionaire African Americans, but we don't hire people? Get your business to such a great extent that you can hire somebody in your business to be able to help you, right? Now you're keeping the wealth in the community. You're keeping it right here, right? I get that. Sometimes you can't afford that because you're trying to live. Get to a position where you can, so you can, one, help your community as well. Your business don't have to just be for your dreams and your goals. It can be to help your community. It's not all about you. You can go out here and you can help with a radio station, get the information out by financial literacy. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can put on events, literally put on events that's going to educate people. And that's a way to give back to your community. How are we living our dash? I'm big on that. How do you live your dash, right? What are people going to say about you when you leave? Besides the fact that you have worked really hard and you really ranked, all the way up in the military, or you really ranked all the way up in corporate, besides your roles there, because that's not your identity. Let me stop by and say it, but let me keep on going because I got to go. Read a personal finance book. What book are you reading right now about personal finances? What are you reading right now? I'm reading about 5 at one time on Audible. While I'm driving back and forth everywhere, I'm listening to Audible. When I'm cooking, I'm listening to Audible. When I'm cleaning my home, I'm listening to Audible. I have an Audible subscription, and I listen to a lot of books about a lot of things, but I definitely have financial literacies as part of that. I'm always learning about these taxes. If you can figure out taxes and keep more money in taxes, that's money that you're going to be able to now put inside some type of investment account, policy, or whatever that's going to make money for you tax-free. Because a policy is going to give you tax-free income. Did you know that? Okay, so there's a lot of different things that you can do with the money that you save, right? So that you can reposition that money now to work for you while you sleep. All right, that's the name of the game. Transfer your credit card balances to a card with no interest. I was talking to some people, they don't even know what kind of interest they're paying. I said, go back and tell me how much interest. I got zero. They go back and they find out it's 23%, it's 26%. I'm going to challenge each of you right now. If you got any credit cards, go out there, call the people and say, what is my interest on my credit card right now? Especially if you think it's 0%. Okay. And when you look at the math on it, do the math, figure that math part out. You'll see how much you're really paying on those credit cards and why you're never going to pay it off, especially if you're paying minimum. Okay, get those things paid off. Those are the devil. Here, the deal is your money can either be compounding for you in the right direction or the wrong direction. So in other words, put your money inside something that's going to make money for you, and the money that the money makes for you, now I'm going to take that money and make more money from the money that it made for you. That's what the wealthy are doing. Things like, just to put something out there, they're getting policies, certain types of policies to be more specific, that are going to give high cash value, or they're getting certain types of annuities that's going to give them 210% participation rate. That's how they get to stay ahead of the inflation. Okay. And they don't pay taxes because the policy is going to be what? Tax-free, right? The money that grows on any type of income inside of a policy is tax-free, unless you take out too many withdrawals, or unless you overstuff that policy and you go above what's called the MEC limit, the modified endowment contract limit. Those two things will cause you to have to trigger a red flag to the IRS. And now your policy is going to be taxable like everything else. And it is the one vehicle that is, like I told you guys several times before, has the 6 steps to financial freedom in it. It is the only vehicle that has the 6 steps to financial freedom. Now, if you don't know what they are, go to my Instagram because I'm almost out of time. 6 steps to financial freedom, and then all 6 steps is right there inside of a policy. All right. Now, number 11, save automatically. So if you know you got a problem with spending money, a problem with spending money, your money should be automatically coming out inside some type of account before off the top. Some people do ties, off the top, right? Some people do, their liquor off the top, whatever you do, make sure that off the top, you got a savings, and that your savings go every quarter. You see what I'm saying? All right, number 12, save more. You hear that? You can't save your way to wealth, so to speak. But what you can do is not have to go into debt when you have a challenge because you have money saved up somewhere. So the way the wealthy do it, let me be clear, is they put their money inside some type of policy that's going to grow for them at about 9%. So, and that money that it makes for them, they take that money and they go and buy real estate with that money, or they go buy whatever they got to buy, right? You got houses out here now, taxes down, you got these tax liens type properties that you can purchase and for little or nothing, but that's starting to increase now because of everything that's going on with the housing market. But we know we're in a bubble. Unfortunately, we are in a bubble. So that's not going to be that way for long. But what kind of money do you have saved up in an emergency account? What does your emergency account look like? And is that emergency account able to compete with inflation? Ease of access, liquidity, that type of stuff. So if you have an emergency, something happened to your child, whatever, where can you go to get money besides a loan or a credit card? That you are the bank. You should be the bank. If you're gonna do like the banks do, then you're gonna have your own emergency fund. Your money is being spent. If you have it in a bank account, they're spending your money and putting it somewhere else so that they can make money off your money. They're putting your money in a foreign exchange currency. They're flipping your money 16,000 times over. Okay, because they know how to do foreign exchange currency. They trade your money. The banks trade your money at midnight to 5 a.m. every day while you sleeping. They making money on your money. So what can you do to yank it away from them and do the same thing, or put it inside an account that's going to make money for you while you're sleeping? That's what you need to be trying to figure out. All right, number 13, keep tabs on your net worth. We already talked about that, right? So if you don't know what your net worth is, then you need to figure that one out, right? How much assets do you have? How much liabilities do you have? Subtract the liabilities from the assets. That's how much are you worth right now. Are you zero net worth? Are you $200,000 net worth? What is your net worth? You need to figure that out, right? Number 14, start an account to save your child's education. Everybody talks about a 529 plan, but let me tell you real quick why the 529 don't always work. The 529 plan is if your child go to college. What if they don't go to college? So understand that the 529 plan is only for college. So if you put your money in something like the wealthy do, an IUL, now that college cannot see how much money you have in a 529 plan, and then they cannot give you less money in a grant for your child to go to school because they don't have visibility of the 529 plan. So the game is don't let them know what you have so you can get more grant money so your child can go to college with more money. And if they don't go to college, you still got that money that's tax-free inside your policy that you can use for whatever. If they want to start a business, the wealthy take the money out of the IUL and help them start their business, or help them to get married, or help them to do whatever they want to do. Buy their first house, buy their first car. But there's so many different things that they can do with that money besides a college to give the FAFSA report visibility to the money that you have so they can give you less money for grant. That's why the 529 don't work. But we don't know that. All right. So number 15, anticipate your future expenses and plan ahead. Does your car have listen, whatever you have with your car, if you're trying to do leasing and all that kind of stuff, there's actually a meeting. This guy, he is incredible on buying cars too. He has a course, a free course coming up on next Thursday night. So yes, and it's going to talk about all why we buy cars the wrong way. So if you need a car, Brian, I'm gonna have to give you that link so you can put it inside because you need to start putting these links and stuff in the bottom. So we got to talk about that offline, but so you can add it on here so people can literally go to this guy and register. I mean, I don't have no affiliate link, so let's be clear. I'm not making no money off of this. It's a free course anyway. It's a free webinar, but he is like a guru when it comes to buying cars. If you're gonna buy a car, buy it the right way. Buy it where you can almost pay nothing for it, right? So he's going to tell you how to do leasing properly, how to buy a car properly, all that good stuff. So I'm going to give you that information, and you can put it in the link, tomorrow because I'm strapped for the rest of the evening. But yeah, What other any other quick comments? Because I am out of time. I'm so sorry.
You know what? And I apologize for that. But the difference is right now is my what I would like to
Let them
say
know.
is this.
Why? Let them know you apologize for that this time. Okay.
I
All right.
apologize. It was my mistake, my fault. I got caught up. But once again, what I'm saying is this right now. What I'm amazed about and what I'm so impressed about is your passion. Is the fact that right now it's like to me how you just take your time, giving us all this information, like why you're so huge on helping us. Where as far as right now, it's like you got the wealth, you got the knowledge, you got the understanding, but your passion that you have, like you believe in this. You're the teacher and you coming on here when you got your free time, and I appreciate that because I know you're very, very busy, travel a lot, and doing so many different wonderful things. So to me, I appreciate that, Queen, and shout out to you for that. But it's like right now, what I enjoy is like how you just take your time and you just spitting out the facts. Like I told you, teach us the game. Teach us how to save. Teach us how to invest. Teach us how to protect ourselves and be prepared for the unexpected. These rainy days that we feel is not going to happen. We didn't expect the pandemic to happen, but look what happened. So
Yes,
you
that's
got to
right.
be prepared for the unexpected. And I love you for that because once again, you don't have to do this.
Right, right. I mean, it's a pleasure, right? Because honestly, I wish that I had more information in my 20s, 30s, and so I really want the Gen Zs to get it, and I really want the millennials to get it as much as possible, so that they don't make some of the same mistakes, and that they could, educate others about that. Because I feel like in my mind, I really see that this is just modern day slavery is to still be on a W-2 is modern day slavery. Let's just be clear about it. Only because I was a high level leader. And what I saw at certain organizations, I did not like. I really did not. And it is what it is. But I was making decent money, and so I couldn't complain. But I knew that our people could do a whole lot better at the same time. So if I can educate and share, take a few minutes to kind of talk about stuff. But I do want to give more concrete information. I do want to move from where we are and take it a little bit
Okay.
higher, go a little more deeper, and do some presentations and things of that nature. And so, I have webinars coming up. So in April, there'll be every Wednesday there'll be webinars, things of that nature. So we're gonna have to get those links on the bottom because I want to
Okay.
spend
That's
quality time to be able to educate people on different things that are out doing like a drive by where they can see what I'm talking about and they can digest it better. So let's do that. Let's commit to every Wednesday in April, making sure that people get
okay.
information that's interested and in a Zoom environment. So let's make that
Okay.
happen for April. All right.
Okay.
All right. So
Hey,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Say again.
Thank you. And you made a powerful statement about right now. You wish you had all this information in your 20s and 30s. I'm looking at you across the screen, and the bottom line is right now, you still look like you in your 20s.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. You know how to make a girl smile. All right. But y'all have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you.
Everybody, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tune in next week. One love.
Bye.